Hello everyone, I'm Ferdi Salvador. Join us in unlocking the tricks of the trade here on Trade Talks. Let's get down to business. The fashion industry is cutthroat and designers have to come consistently with new and fresh ideas to keep clients interested. But sometimes one has to step away, take a break, and start anew. Today we will speak with fashion designer Hindy Weber Tantoko, where we find out about her sustainable and ethical fashion brand. Hi, Hindy.
Hi, Ferdi.
Such a great pleasure to have you on the show this morning.
I'm so happy to be here and to reconnect with you.
Absolutely.
After so
I was just
years.
calculating in my head how long I've known you, and I said, wow, 30 years, you're right about.
Yeah.
So I met you at 5 years
that.
old.
Yeah.
So, sweetie, you've been in the fashion industry for a long time.
Yes.
Tell me what your first brand does.
My first brand was actually children's wear called Kiddos. And then we had Young VIP in Rustans.
Yes.
So I was a private label designer for Rustans for over a decade.
I
So
remember.
I was doing children's, teens, and then I launched a women's wear label called Cult Femme.
Yes. Iconic.
Yeah, thank you. That was really fun. And then I took a sabbatical. After my second child, I said, you know what? I'm done with the fashion industry. I can't handle it anymore. After like years of no holidays, no work out, the work hours just ran till midnight and beyond, you know.
So the
Just
burnout was, yeah.
Yeah, just from work and events. And of course, in the retail industry, you have to work on holidays too, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's 24/7, but
Yes.
that was a slow burnout.
Yes, it was because I loved my job and I love fashion, I love designing. So you don't really realize you're burning out until life smacks you in the face and says, "Wake up, girl."
Well, that's a good thing to talk about later. You can give advice to those people who are starting to basically burn out, right? That's what I said a while ago in my intro,
Yeah.
you know, you step back. But before that, let's go to the beginning. How did you start? Was fashion always in your genes?
So I always loved art. I love to draw. I love to sketch. I would take painting classes, drawing classes. And then of course, my mom was my first muse, right? Seeing her dress up for parties. And this was like late 70s to 80s. I'm giving away my age, but anyways, that was the best time.
We met each other at 5 years old. Okay.
So I'd go through her closet and rework her clothes, and then I'd put them back in, hoping she wouldn't notice, but she did. But she actually found it amusing. Like I'd snip off the buttons and move them around. I'd taper the waist. Even her shoes. I'd play around.
At what age?
Probably at 7 or 8.
Oh, well, she really can't get upset with you because, wait a minute, I want to wear this jacket for an event, but it's missing a button.
Yeah.
And,
it would be like, Hindrika, where's mine? Like this.
Hindrika, why is it tied?
Yeah. But I also really loved animals and nature and wildlife. So I was kind of, like in a dilemma. Like half of me was poring over encyclopedias, honestly, like science books, and I love David Attenborough and the Ating Alamin, that show.
Yes, I remember that
Life
show.
on Earth, those shows, Nat Geo.
Yes.
So that was a huge part of my life, but also drawing and sketching. And then I got my first Vogue magazine, my first Elle, my first Harper's Bazaar.
And you got
W,
addicted.
and that was it. I had stacks and stacks. And I said, I want to be in that world. I want to travel the world and just meet all these people.
And be glamorous. Was it the glamour that attracted you to it? Or
I think
is
it was
the
more
tech?
that sense of possibility. of really exploring expression in that way, that anything was possible, no matter who you were. You know, like models from the countryside getting discovered and suddenly they're on magazine covers. I was so amazed by that thought. And even just designers, you know, like toiling in their garage and suddenly they have this beautiful creation on the runway. I was just like, wow, I want to be a part of that. That was really interesting for me.
But has your interest in science, nature, animals contributed to your fashion career?
You know, at first I thought they were completely separate and or even like it was a contrast. So I felt like I had to pick something, and so I actually picked fashion. I went to fashion school after college here, and that's the career that I pursued. But like I was saying earlier, when I had that burnout and sabbatical, what did I turn to? But I kicked my heels off, went into nature, started growing food, and realized that this was still very much a part of who I was. And we started having farm animals. And then it was really like a full circle moment.
It's a fashion farm.
Yeah, it was like I went from fashion to farming, and
It's
then
like,
now back to
it's
fashion.
correct, right? It's like from farm to fork. You're like from fashion to farm to fashion.
Yes.
But does that put you in a good mood to design? Do you need to be in a mood to design, or do you have to be in the mood to farm?
I think it definitely gave me a new approach in my fashion work.
Yes.
Because now I couldn't just think anymore of just what I wanted to design based on, you know, trends or based on my client, right?
Yes. What's interesting to me, Hindy, is that you didn't mention the commercial side of fashion. You said earlier that the inspiration was, you know, I wanna see models from obscure places in the country, and then all of a sudden they're like on the cover of a magazine. You didn't mention once that I want to be a designer for the glamour and for the wealth, because fashion is, you know, a very lucrative business. Is that still or am I mistaken? Is that not an inspiration to you?
No, I still think that what's inspiring to me is just this sense of exploration and expression. But now I'm very grounded and rooted in my responsibility for sustainability,
Tell me about
for
that.
regeneration.
Yeah.
Because once you realize how polluting the fashion industry is, I don't think you can take part in it without feeling a sense of
Guilt. Yes.
Right? As much as I love fashion, right? And, you know, I still, you know, read all the fashion reports, the business reports, and the magazines, and I still follow the global trends and whatnot. But I really, now I approach it with a different lens, that we've come to a time in our society, in our world, where you cannot separate the two anymore, and how our work, how our businesses affect the planet, because we only need to look outside, look at the news, look around our families and see all the different medical challenges we have.
Correct.
The environmental disasters. To know that our businesses really need to address this. It can't just be a campaign. It really has to be incorporated in the business ethos.
Do you think that sustainable fashion, even sourcing of materials or coming up with your own technology, is commercially viable?
Not right now, which is why it's not commonplace. It's actually more of a burden, and
it's a burden, but less guilt on your part, you know?
Yeah.
But like
I can sleep better at night.
But you moved to, or you've got an interest in Bali, right?
Yes.
For a number of interests actually. You mentioned to me off cam that you are now producing some of your fabrics in Bali. Why?
this happened by chance also. Remember, I didn't want to go into fashion anymore because I was growing organic food and doing farm tours, educational tours. But I visited Bali, and just by chance, I attended a tour in a natural dyeing factory workshop. And I was like, oh my gosh, now there's so many possibilities. I can dye clothes with plants, with toxin-free dyes. And I said, wait a minute, where do they get their textiles from? And then I researched further, and I found I was able to access natural, sustainable, organic textiles.
And which is cool
And then
because you have a
that's when-
farm, you can do it.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's when I said, oh my gosh, now I can go back into fashion in my own terms.
Yes.
Without feeling like a sellout, without feeling like I'm hurting the planet, without feeling like I'm abusing the workforce. I mean, it was just really a new approach to fashion that jived with my lifestyle choices at that
ethos, yeah.
time. And I'm hoping to bring that now here to our country.
Yeah. But before that, I want to get deeper into this, Hindy. But we're going to take a short break. Trade Talks will be right back. We're back on Trade Talks. We continue our conversation with fashion designer Hindy Weber. So, Hindy, before we took the break, I was so interested in what you said. So, you found these ethical, more nature-forgiving processes in your production, and you want to bring it to the Philippines. What's that? What do you want to bring home?
Well, first of all, we have to think of fashion just like food. It starts with the crops. It starts with the seeds, which means it starts with the soil. So that industry, we have a very healthy weaving industry now, weaving, embroidery, these local heritage crafts. But I'm hoping to take it even a few steps back and bring it to the agriculture part, because fashion is an agricultural source. Right?
I never thought about it with that twist. So this is your farming and fashion
Exactly.
intersection.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
I mean, you can't make that up, right? I mean, it's
it
amazing.
took decades for you to finally fuse these two
Yes.
together.
Exactly. So hopefully we can reinvigorate our fiber industry here, not just for abaca, for example, but other crops like
Such as?
cotton, hemp, which is a fiber that I really love working with, bamboo. Although hemp is currently illegal, and I'm hoping that is lifted because it is one of the most sustainable, eco-friendly materials and can be used for so much, just like coconut.
Yes, I think there's a law that's got, I think they're trying to pass a law that's got that as part of the what they're trying to do to make it more, how should I say, legal.
Yes.
But
because it doesn't require as much water as
Yes.
cotton even.
pesticides?
No pesticides, no fertilizers needed. So, our farmers can grow it easily. You can use it for so many different things.
So what do you think the government should do to help designers with your kind of vision to make sure that it's no longer just a boutique idea,
Yes.
mind the pun, but to make it more common, more commercial, more industrial?
Yeah, so I'm hoping we really think of fashion as an agricultural industry as well. And while we're very strong with the cultural heritage
Yes.
of weaving and beadwork and whatnot, we really got to bring it back and train a lot of our farmers, for example, on how to grow these crops. And then have a nationwide campaign on using these crops, using local cotton, promoting indigo, for example.
Yes. But do you think this will be a threat to, global fashion houses or large fashion companies?
No, that will help us become a player in the global fashion industry. Whereas right now, we're not even close to competing to other countries like China or India or Vietnam.
In Japan,
Right.
sustainable fashion is the thing. It's in vogue, you know what I mean? It's
Yes.
people love it because
Yeah.
they've got a very strong or they've got roots in indigo. And
Yes.
just one color that's just created a cultural revolution.
Yes,
What
when
do you-
actually we were growing indigo way before them.
No way.
Yes,
Really?
see, there's so many things that we were actually ahead of everybody, but I don't know what happened.
But I didn't even know that indigo is grown here.
Yes.
What kind of plant
It
is that?
It's the indigo plant.
Oh, okay, that's the indigo plant.
There's several varieties.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, there's about 3 that's grown here. So
And do you feel like this can help you and your brand to make it large scale, or do you want to keep it boutique as it is at the moment?
for my lifestyle, I just want to keep it small and sustainable for my. I don't know.
Not burning the midnight oil just to
Yeah.
create a collection.
Right now, my business accommodates me, and I don't accommodate it. Whereas before, I was having to accommodate my business.
My
And right
business
now,
accommodates. me.
Yes.
I like that.
So I wouldn't mind though working with certain, like maybe the DOST, or the DENR, and definitely the Philippine Textile Research Institute. I wouldn't mind working with them.
Yeah, because this
To
is not
make it more-
this is not a focus on their agendas at the moment, right?
They do have certain programs with certain fibers, but again, the consistency is lacking. I mean, I mean,
Are they missing the point?
I mean no disrespect whatsoever.
there you go.
They have really very good programs, but it has to be a systemic change, just like our food.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna take a while, but
Yeah, but you're a warrior in this particular industry. But what's the biggest challenge that you're facing as an independent designer and businesswoman?
as an independent designer, it's always about volume and pricing. I can't, as a small business, I cannot meet the volume requirements usually of the better factories. So I have to work with my own team, my own assembly of workers, and that entails cost,
Yes.
a higher cost.
And especially with
So-
your fabrics, I mean,
Yes.
there's a million ways for you to be able to come up with the quality that you want, right?
Right.
Especially with the dyeing. So that entails cost. How do you manage to put that into your pricing? I mean,
Well,
percentage.
I try to educate our market a little bit that what is the true cost of the garment. So you might be paying a very low amount for a T-shirt in a mass market brand, but what really is the true cost there? What's being sacrificed? What's being compromised? Are the sewers getting paid living wages? Things like that. So it's like, it's not just about fashion for what you wear, like what you wear. It's not just about what you wear, but what are you buying into? Really, what are the principles that you're buying into? So it's beautiful, but really, what's the story behind that, right?
But how's business so far for you since you've gone to this this ethical corridor?
It started off with a bang, and we got very affected by COVID.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes.
Yeah, like everyone else. But now we're back on track, and it's really great. And I'm so grateful to our customers. We have really loyal customers. It's kind of like like an inner circle in a way.
Yeah,
But
because
first I'm-
you've got a
Yeah.
referral program,
Yes,
which is
we
so
do.
cool. Tell me about
Yeah,
that.
so we kind of created our own fashion currency. So like if you're a fan of the brand and you recommend it to a friend, you actually earn points, kind of like mileage points for referring someone else, and you have your own customer number. So it just keeps growing.
Can I
and
cash
there's
in on those points and go to the farm?
Yes.
I can get produce.
Yeah. Free alugbati.
But I'm down with free alugbati any day. Now I want to eat it for lunch. So tell me, Hindy, last few questions. What is your worst investment?
Worst?
Worst.
Oh my gosh. My worst investment? I don't know. I can't say that I have a really bad investment. I'm so deliberate and careful with my investments. I don't know. My best investment, I guess, is
I was gonna ask.
my food, my health choices,
The farm?
the farm, my time with my children. But my worst investment, wow, you've stumped me. Ferdi.
That's a first. I've stopped Hindy Weber.
Maybe like, some designer bags that are just in the closet right now, and
I'm sure
Right?
your daughter will be happy to
I
get
can't
it.
wait for that day.
What about your favorite mistake?
My favorite mistake, my husband.
I think the phone's gonna
It's
start.
a 30-year mistake.
I think my phone's gonna start ringing in just about
kidding.
5 minutes.
Just kidding. But it's my favorite because, I mean, I couldn't ask for a better partner.
Yes, but
Yeah.
of course, lessons learned, right, from mistakes, and you've got the best lessons, right? Thank you so much, Hindy,
Thank you
for
so
giving
much.
me an insight on sustainable fashion in this light. I never thought that fashion is an agricultural industry. Thank you so
Yes,
much,
thank
and
you,
more power to
Ferdi.
you, and I'll be watching
Thank you.
out for your productions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And that is it for today's show. I'm Ferdi Salvador. Catch the Bilyonaryo News channel on Free TV Channel 31 and on cable via Cignal Channel 24. Thanks for watching the Bilyonaryo News channel, always on top.